a couple months ago, I got braces put on again. This time because I'm missing an adult tooth, and so an implant needs to get put in, and my teeth need to be straightened out to do that. Getting them on and having all the food restrictions given to me made me think about when I had them on the first time. So this was back when I was in ninth grade, and I had just gotten the first wire change. I'd had them on for the 6 weeks, and I'd gotten the first wire change either earlier this day or the day before. I can't quite remember. And this was Halloween, so that in this appointment they had a lot of like be really careful, and that wasn't too big of a deal for me. I didn't really like the types of candies that they told me to be careful about, and still don't. But I was going to this one event, and one of the things that this event had, and we'd go to it every year, was caramel apples. Now, I never liked caramel apples, just something the sweet and kind of sourness together, and the caramel doesn't, what the way they made them, the caramel didn't really stick to the apples, so you get kind of caramel separated from apples. But my mom really liked caramel apples, so every year she'd kind of make me have one. Well, this year she knew that that would not work well. Caramel and apples together is not a great combination for someone who has braces, other than a friend of mine who came up eating a caramel apple. He also had braces, except he had them on for about a year prior to this. So he got into the mode where he was feeling good as opposed to my very painful teeth, because that first wire change I think was the most painful my teeth have ever been for braces. And in addition, the caramel apple had nuts on it. It wasn't just a caramel apple because they made them both a version with nuts and without nuts kind of sprinkled around it. But so it was just this like ultimate orthodontist nightmare that this friend of mine was eating a caramel apple with nuts on it for braces. And while yeah, you can eat apples if you. What I've been doing is cutting them up. And even though by the end of the first time I had braces, I was eating apples without cutting them up, and it's certainly possible, though it has some downsides. This time I am continuing to cut them up to avoid those downsides. Um, when the technician was talking to me about like the food restrictions, she was like she kind of had to go through the list, but it was kind of clear. It's like you've had braces before, you know what you can and can't eat, and you know that these are a little bit more restricted. But what those food restrictions really are is these are the things you should be careful with until you learn how to eat them in a way that like doesn't harm your braces.